Okay, everyone. I just wanted to touch base with you this week on Project 2. Okay. Now, the last time I talked to you guys, I had sketched up these ideas here based on, some old magazine covers that I've been perusing. The one I decided to go with was this one right here. Okay, this one in the upper uh, right. Okay. And so over the past couple of days, I kind of sketched up this little piece of artwork right here, which, is more or less based on it. I changed some things around a little bit, and some things I might change still. But that's what I basically came up with the pencil sketch. Now, looking back at this here, I saw that some sizes were different and the circle was a bit lower, so I might change that. But pretty much, I was pretty much happy with what I went with. Now you'll notice too that there are some other minor differences from the thumbnails, and that's just from thinking through the illustration. I had an idea quite a while back for this kind of a character, sort of an occult detective kind of character, not really a magician or a sorcerer or anything like that, but just an occult detective. Uh, Set in the 70s. I know I said 60s or 70s, but for this particular story line, I decided to go with the 70s, and that is why I included a disco ball. And this idea about, well, I'll be honest, this goes back to my childhood when, back in the 70s, when there was what do we call it, a satanic panic. Okay. It sounds silly now, but it started with bands like Alice Cooper and Blue Oyster Cult, and then finally Kiss, which parents heard, oh, that actually stands for Knights in Satan's Service, something like that. Um, so pure nonsense. But it's like, okay, what if I did a 70s storyline that had some Kiss inspired glam disco queen kind of, person that, I don't know, say her song is actually a spell and she's going to do something nefarious, whatever. I don't know. So this person here wound up, turning into something a little more glam rock. I gave her some, little glittery choker there and, black lipstick. And I'm probably going to have her face be white and stuff like that, kind of like Kiss inspired. The irony about this is that when I got done drawing this character, it's like, oh, she kind of looks like Lady Gaga, you know, who, in my defense, is also she's inspired by a lot of that glam stuff from the 70s. So I guess it works. Anyway, so that was the sketch. Brought it onto my template here, and there it is with the logo. And I think it worked pretty well, but I did have to change some things. I made the whole thing a little bit bigger and then actually cut this person, her head out, and enlarged that and made it a bit bigger. Okay. So I thought that worked pretty well. Kind of, she's kind of the focal point. Things just kind of go around this way. And I'm fairly happy with it. Now let's turn this back off. Now, the next thing I have to do is start adding some color to this and making it into something. Okay, sorry about that. I had a dog over here that was kind of having some issues. Okay, so back to this thing. Now I'm going to start adding some circles here. They're just going to be color circles. I don't think I'm going to do anything too fancy with them because I don't want them to distract from the actual artwork itself. So let's go over here to our background layer. And I want to have these on separate layers so I can move them around. I think the placement for these is okay, but I might want to be able to have some, some freedom there to move them around if I want. So let's start with the first one here, the big circle. So I'm actually going to label it big circle. I'm a huge advocate for naming your layers so you know where everything is. So there's a big circle there. Um, let's click on my paint bucket. And I'm just going to hold down my shift key and make an ellipse. About the right size, give or take. I think my compass slipped a little bit when I was drawing this thing, so it's not exactly circular, but that's not really a problem. Let me turn my logo back on to make sure I'm not creating a tangent. Okay, there we go. And for this one, I think I'm just going to drop in a maybe kind of a red. Okay, and then let's go ahead and make another layer here. I'll call this small circle left. I'll deselect, and I'll put this right here. Looks about right. And with this one, I think I'll just go with a, I don't know, maybe a blue or a purple. Just drop that in there. And then let's go ahead and make another layer. This time I'm going underneath the big circle one, hitting that. It's going to be small circle right. And then again, hold down the shift key, make a circle, get just about the right spot. And this time let's go with, let's go with kind of a purple or something. I don't want to get into earth tones. I want this to be kind of different, you know. Okay, so we got that going on. You know, I think I might play around a little bit with a little bit of maybe a little bit of a gradient so I can get this a little darker or something. So let's grab this. Grab this big circle here and let's play around a little bit. Stylize. Let's see what happens if we give it a gradient overlay. Okay, so gradient overlay here. Let's put it on. See if we go with darken. There we go. And gradient type, solid noise, custom. Okay. Now, right now it's set for linear. Let's try a radial. And reverse that. That's maybe a little too much. A little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. And now I'm going to take the opacity down a little bit. I don't want it. It's not what I want this. I don't want this to look 3D or anything, but I do want it darker around the edges. Just slightly darker. Let's see, we're at about 50%. You know, I think that might work all right. Now, when you're playing around with these things, if you haven't done this before, you know, you can always try different settings and, you know, it'll make it look different. You know, linear burn, darker color. Sometimes it won't look like it does anything at all. Lighten, screen, color dodge. Ooh, that's bright. That's too bright. Lighter color, overlay, soft light, hard light, vivid light, linear light, pin light, hard mix. And let's see, difference, that's the opposite stuff, exclusion, subtract, divide, hue, saturation, color. Some of these don't do much of anything. Luminosity. Okay, but Let's see. What do we have it on? We have it on multiple. I'm trying to remember what we had it on. Linear burn. I think it was on. I think it was on darken. Yeah, there we go. That's what we'll go with. Okay. And again, you can play with the opacity, get the amount that you want. Again, I like it a little bit lower. I had it at 50, so it's just subtle. Okay. I can also change the scale too if I wanted to, but I want it fairly big. Okay, good. Now that I've got that set, okay, I want to do the same thing essentially for the rest of these little circles out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and copy my layer style, and then on my other ones, I'm going to go ahead and paste my layer style. I should deselect that too. And you can see the purple one just had the same thing happen. I'm going to make those collapse and right click, paste layer style. There we go. So okay, so that looks pretty cool. I'm kind of liking how that looks. I think we might, right through here, we've got a couple of little circles yet. And I think those might look good if we use, let's say, zoom in here, small. Actually, let's call this really small circle. Circles. No, I'll keep them separate. Anyway, so a really small circle, we'll go right here. And let's give that one kind of a, I don't know, maybe kind of a yellow or a gold. And let's see what happens if we paste that layer style. Not bad, but I don't know, it's a little too pale. I think maybe an actual, maybe a gold color, a gold shimmer or something might look a little bit better. So let's try that, see what that does. Now that come out as like brown. Yuck. All right, that's better. That's more like it. And then let's see, one more in front of that. Really small circle front. Okay. And then let's go ahead and make another circle here. I'm going to move it slightly. I don't want a tangent with her head right there. And let's let me think. What would be a good sort of color? This thing's red. That's yellow. Let's. Ooh, fuchsia. That'd be tacky. I think maybe let's try a that would work. Let's try a green, and then fix their style. Okay, now I think that probably would work. I don't know. Let me reselect here. I wonder what would happen. Let's make them both this kind of gold. Maybe that would look better. Deselect. Let's turn the pencils off for a second. Oh yeah, I kind of dig that. Okay, so we've got our circle set in there, and that's working all right. And the thing is, if I want to like move these around a little bit and do something different with them, I can. I think though that it needs a little something more. These are a little too smooth. So let's go ahead and let's throw something else in front of this. Let's go ahead and right there. I'm going to add a new layer. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little something different. Let's go ahead and I'm going to grab a different kind of brush. Got sparkler, let's see, sand and dust brushes. I got my explosion set there too. Okay. Now, some of these I've downloaded from the internet. Some of these come with it. Um, well, that is pretty big. Okay. Of course, what happens is sometimes you grab these things and whoops, and it makes it hard to switch your brush back because everything's just your big brush. Okay. Now, right now it's set on yellow and we don't want that. So let's put it on like say a white. That's a little too much. I don't want something that takes up the whole thing. Oh, there we go. Ah, love it. Okay, there we go. That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, just one simple brush, and now I've got all these little things here. As a matter of fact, now that I got that set, I think I want to get rid of, whoops, wrong one. I think I want to get rid of my really small circles because I don't think they really add anything to it. Because now I got this stuff in there instead. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. All right, now um, let's see how that looks with the logo. And I had this turned off, visibility turned off. This is the letter fill for it. Okay. Now this letter fill, all this is the inside of the letter copied and pasted back and front. As a matter of fact, if we turn all this off, you can see it's just that white. Okay, but I used first off a color overlay. Okay, and that's the color overlay right there. And then I did a satin over top of that and a stroke. Okay, and that gave it this sort of, I don't know, I thought it had a nice sort of feel to it. Now let's turn the rest of this stuff back on. With our little dust cloud there and our pencils right there. Okay, so I think that's really starting to work. I think that's starting to come together. So the next step is to start painting these characters in. I think what I'm going to do this time with this, I'm going to start with a color block like I usually do, blocking in color. What I'm going to use though for a brush is I think for this I'm going to do something different. The last time I was using the blend brush quite a bit, um, but I think what I'm probably going to use instead of doing as much blending, I'm going to go over top of my color flats with this with a just more of a paintbrush. Okay, and you can find these are like in group one that comes along with it. You know, they're nested here. You can just kind of, you know, find them very easily. There's a hard round pressure brush and a soft round pressure brush. And this is what they do is this affects the opacity and the flow. So it works really well with your stylus when you have the pressure set. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be using to keep it more painterly, and that's what I want to go for. I want to keep this more in the style of illustrators, you know, that were working back in the day when they were actually using paints. So that's what I'm gonna go with. You know, a brush like that. Okay, but I think I'm not gonna start with that right now because I think I'm almost at a half an hour right now. So um, so I think I'll let it go at that. Okay, and I will see you guys next time.